Scoundrels web series and podcast is filmed and recorded in their ship, the Centurion Vulture, and may contain language not suitable for all. Viewer discretion is advised.
Let's do this.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to Scoundrels, y'all. We are broadcasting from the Centurion Vulture. I am CG.
I'm Paul Bannister.
Curtis Wayne Miller standing by.
We are three grown-ass men, not here to only talk about Star Wars, but more specifically, we just watched the Obi-Wan finale. Let's get into it. I told these guys before we watched that I was going to make a point to not bitch about the music in this episode because I've been that guy for like three or four episodes. I need to dial it down. And then I watched the episode. And it's not that I'm gonna bitch, but I will say and then we'll move on. I think we can all agree that when you heard those moments, that's where the goosebumps started.
Yeah.
Proof of concept.
We got Leia theme, we got Imperial March theme, we got like the Two Sons theme, like
maybe a little bit of like a chase theme.
Yeah, we had a chase theme.
It also means that they just could have done it the whole season.
Yeah,
possibly.
I swear it's like one of the first times I heard horns, like actual like Star Wars horns.
Yeah.
Y'all got any horns in there?
Anyway, I don't want to immediately just devolve into the whole music thing. I just want to mention that, like, just so everyone makes a mental note, just remember how good that felt when that happened.
You know, I started watching it again.
Good call.
I watched for the series. I watched the first two episodes and a little bit of third, and I was like, are the first two episodes as good as I remember? And they are. The first two episodes are just as good as I remembered, even after. And I think after this, it's like, my thought is, man, you could have nailed this. You were right there with this
close
series.
to greatness.
You were right there because I there was some holes in this finale. Definitely some like small. I don't know, small. Maybe I need to go back. But overall, I'm like, this was a bad. There were some.
I was going to say
unbelievable moments.
I would say confounding is the word I keep using to describe it. Meaning, and to be clear,
what is the fucking definition of confounding?
Well, it's sort of like frustrating, maybe on some level. And I say that because there were moments of greatness.
Oh yeah,
and I know I probably sound like the guy who's always bitching, but the Vader Obi-Wan duel was clearly
awesome,
great. I mean, it was. I think Curtis, you said this while we were watching, and I agree that should have been the only interaction they had the whole series.
Yeah.
But it was fucking great. They nailed it. The shit with when his mask is half, his face is
I actually felt for that old bastard.
And even the emotional point. I mean, when Obi-Wan's got the tears in his eyes and the dialogue worked, like that whole thing, just about completely just like I was in it.
Yeah, I got goosebumps, which is sort of like the goosebump test.
Yeah.
Right.
It did it. I love it. It's like, because they did that in Rebels. I think Ahsoka knocks Vader's helmet off, and you see his eye, and it's real, but it feels way cooler. It's like a real moment. Like,
Rebels wasn't bad, but they actually really nailed the gravity of that.
Yes.
The emotional weight that we'd been fucking talking about.
Yeah.
Amen.
I mean, thumbs up, dickheads.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like, to say
what am I talking about?
4 out of 6.
Don't ever stop.
Yeah, I'd say 3 out of 6 of the episodes were great. One of them was pretty good, the one where they're in the Inquisitorium.
Fortress Inquisitorius.
And then there were the 2 episodes, episode 3 and episode 5 were just god awful. But the holes in this one were like, okay, Reva going after Luke. I don't know how like we said, how does she know? Is like, does she know that that's Anakin's kid? But
I don't understand the Reva character at all.
No.
It wasn't clear, and like I said to you guys when we watched, it's an honest question. I'm not even making a criticism. I feel like I just missed a moment
I need to
that
go
explains
back.
that.
Yeah,
because
it's not ultra clear.
It wasn't clear why she was going to Tatooine and doing all this. If Vader is her objective,
she spent 10 years.
Nothing in that message.
The long game,
to
try to like get next to the Dark Lord.
I don't remember that message from Bail saying anything about these are Anakin's children.
Well, he says in the message he obviously found that he knows about the Leia, And it won't be long before he finds out about Luke, but I don't know how. And then he says, "I'll go to Tatooine to help Owen with Luke."
Oh,
Wait,
he
who
says
knows
he
about
found
Leia?
out about Leia?
He's the sick because he remember Obi-Wan hadn't communicated with him. He's like, "I can only assume that you've been found and caught," and I think he maybe hints to the fact that Vader knows about the kids.
Some confusing
but
stuff
it was weird.
for
And
me.
it felt a little.
Well, I kind of
there was
hope
a
you're
lot-
right because
yeah.
it makes that make more sense.
But still, even then, it's like how her first thought is, "Oh, these are Vader's kids." Because I know, like, it's been a long time since I watched the prequels, but I remember, Padme was very low key on Naboo. Not many people knew she was pregnant.
It was
I don't
a
think
secret.
I don't think
it was
Obi-Wan.
it was a secret
very
because
secret.
a Jedi is not
Yeah,
supposed to
cannot.
be making love.
Yeah.
which is still,
So how
Which is
many
stupid.
people
It's a stupid
like
ass idea.
know that he has kids, and Anakin assumes that his kids were dead.
yeah.
But maybe that's it. But
Yeah, they faked
How
it.
does even if
Fake to death.
even if Vader knows my kids are alive, how the hell does Reva
Yeah.
know? So
Vader
that was,
doesn't know.
That was an interesting. Like I just
He
don't,
finds out.
That was a big
in
jump.
Empire Strikes Back.
I thought that was an
Yeah.
unnecessary like story. Like
Or
Or
you're
maybe
saying
before.
that Reva is under the impression that Vader knows, even though we know that he isn't
Oh, wait.
aware
And Vader finds out about Leia
in Jedi.
in Jedi.
yeah, sister.
So you have
a
But all it took was being
sister.
within 5 feet of Luke and just reading his mind. Like, oh, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
But
Yeah.
for some reason, that didn't bug me.
No, well, that's 'cause-
Quick, I was also a
But
young
how does
man.
it doesn't bother me that he knows because he knew he had twins, but he didn't think they were alive. But how does
Wait,
Reva
did they
make
know
that
they were
jump?
twin? They didn't find out they
I
were
think there
twins.
were two. Well, I think they knew there was two of them.
No, they didn't find out they were twins until
Till the birth?
Padme was on her deathbed.
Oh shoot! I see. I don't know. It's been a long time, but yeah. So that whole and then why they
I
only
could be wrong about that though.
like why they only chased Obi-Wan in the ship. Like Vader just could have gone by himself, and they could have continued to
Yeah.
follow the ship.
Plot holes
There's
for
some-
sure.
there was some
throughout
plot
this
holes.
entire fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like
but
the-
if you're being entertained and it feels good,
Yeah.
you're willing
That's
to
the point.
overlook
Yeah.
this stuff.
Well
but when
said.
when it's not good, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You're totally right because for all the things that we bitch and moan about, and largely me, the last 3 episodes, there's probably equally flimsy things in the original
course.
trilogy.
Yeah.
But when everything else, you're right, Curtis. When everything else feels good and feels on point, you're not looking around for the plot holes because
Right.
you're just like kids sitting Indian style, like it's story time, and
Yeah.
you're so engrossed that you're not like examining things. You're just there.
If
And-
it just feels right. There are some flimsy things in the original trilogy,
Oh, yeah.
but I will go on record as saying Empire Strikes Back might be a perfect masterpiece.
No, it's clear. I think it's the best one of that. But I like you said, it's
Moving
like I
on.
would have been fine with all those hiccups if episode 3 and 5 were good. And they, like I said, I always say they blew their load with Vader, and then they bring in the music now
Yeah.
at the end, and it's like, well, if you're waiting for this big dramatic finish,
I know.
but you already blew your load with like these Vader fight, like that would have been. This series could have been so good.
Did anyone notice how emotional it felt when Obi-Wan and Leia were saying goodbye and
yeah,
you heard the Leia theme?
yeah.
After
Oh,
we
yeah.
watched this little girl for 6 episodes and then we finally get that theme at the end, and of course it gives you goosebumps because
Yeah.
that's what you've been waiting to hear and you have all your emotion wrapped up
Yeah.
in it. It's so... I'm doing it again.
No, but
Yeah.
you can't.
Whatever.
But they,
For what
but
it's
they
worth-
used the Leia theme, which I wanted to go back and see if they actually used some of these themes in Empire. What do you call them? The prequels.
Yeah.
And when they deliver baby Leia, and I don't even know if they show her face. They deliver baby Leia to Bail Organa and his wife on Alderaan.
Yeah.
In Revenge of the Sith, and they used the Leia theme.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know it sounds like I'm mostly annoyed, but just to be clear,
Yeah.
it was fucking great. It
Yeah.
felt
It was
wonderful.
I
It
like
was
this
a
episode.
positive experience. I mean,
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by confounding, because there were so many moments that finally felt really good in this one, which I'm grateful for, that I can actually sit and watch at least one episode of this
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
That it does make you feel extra annoyed with the ones that weren't, because it means it wasn't about licensing or whatever else.
Yeah.
They
Well,
just
maybe.
made a creative.
Could have been.
Maybe
I think
it's
it's
about
money.
per use.
Yeah, per use.
I don't know how that shit works though.
I don't know. Somebody commented on the last episode saying that there was an interview with the woman that did the score, and she said something along the lines of, "This is what the person commented, that she made it. It was like a choice.
Yeah.
Like she wanted to write some different things, like be inspired by it, but not. Which of course, you know,
It didn't even to
It
me
didn't
sound
We've
like
been
it
down
was
this road.
sound very
by.
inspired.
yeah, we've been down this road.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, the
The
music,
short version is, for when it happened in this episode, it really
it felt good, and you
Yeah.
can't overuse it. Like it's not like you get sick of hearing it. But anyway, yeah, I
felt
think
good.
I think that's the take. I
It
was
cool,
expecting
man.
a dumpster
I had
fire.
fun watching it.
Yeah, I was expecting a dumpster fire, and I was thinking, "There's no way I'm going to enjoy this." But I that Vader the scene where he goes and just the fight, the gravity was there, getting off. It was his shuttle.
Yep.
You finally see his shuttle. The way he gets off the shuttle,
Yeah,
like
Vader's
it just
shuttle.
felt like Vader.
Yep.
And their fight, and then like,
I wanted
the
that
call
toy
of the
so
rebels,
bad, that
like
shuttle.
just seeing his face, it was just cool.
It's funny because there's so much bad plot writing in the last 2 or 3 episodes with the Leia's caught, Leia's captured,
Yeah.
Leia escaped, and Obi-Wan, that you can kind of just forget certain plot points and watch the first 2 episodes and the last one.
Yeah.
And
Well,
be
I would
kind of
say
good.
2,
Honestly, this maybe
4,
should have been a
and
movie.
6.
Yeah.
2, 4, and 6.
Yeah.
1, 2, 4, 6.
You
Yeah.
have to have such good writing to keep a series up.
Yeah.
I think you're
like
right,
you
Kurt.
guys
It's
are
only
talking
6
about
episodes,
Stranger
yeah.
Things or like the
Yeah.
first 5 seasons of
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Like
Yeah.
it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
like a movie, like that damn Top Gun movie I just saw, like
Yeah.
to keep up some badasses for 2 hours is
You're
not as
kinda
hard
right,
as
Curtis.
keeping up badasses.
There was probably a really good 2-hour and 20-minute movie.
There's a fucking
Yeah.
really solid
Yeah.
90-minute flick up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's I think
You're
that's the
right.
disappointing. And it's like I wasn't even mad at the whole Reva because it's so funny. Like I learned that I love doing this with you because I think we think mentally when we watch a film, why do I feel this way or why? But I think after talking to you and you know so much about film is that you kind of see things differently. Like I rewatched the first episode and they show Reva first, and then after the Jedi that was training them dies, she's in the middle and they do this slight kind of zoom in on her.
Like a camera
She's in
push?
yeah, it's very subtle. And I thought it was like cool. And then going back and knowing her story, it was kind of cooler for me to go back and because
Yeah.
I actually like her character.
Yeah.
I like the where she came from, what her goal
Reva?
was.
I like
Reva.
the idea of her
I love
character.
no exactly, and she's a great actress. Or
She is a
actor,
good
and,
actress.
but
Let it be
I
known.
just think they just kind of blew it with that storyline. Like
Yeah.
I think that could have been a really cool storyline. Because going back, I was like, this is kind of cool knowing what her motive is now. Like her motive is not to be the Grand Inquisitor. Her motive is to be
Yeah.
to get Vader.
Right.
So it was a cool, and they just kind of blew it in a few story episodes.
Definitely didn't nail it in
It
my
didn't nail it.
opinion.
It didn't because even in this episode, it didn't hit either. Even if we did miss something. I think us finding out that she knows that Anakin has 2 kids and they're alive and one of them's on Tatooine is a stretch. I just don't.
They got away with some seriously shitty low budget script writing by doing really cool shit in this episode.
Yeah.
Because it is
Yeah.
also from a writing standpoint, even in the realm of Star Wars, again, by their own rules, it is bonkers how much Darth Vader won't kill people in this series.
Yeah.
He'll
You shoulda
snap
killed-
necks of random people in the street, but he won't kill Obi-Wan Kenobi. He won't kill a betrayal moment with Reva. Everyone's just, even Obi-Wan under the rocks in the duel, which that's not, there's sillier things in the OG trilogy that I don't have a problem with. But it also just sort of like, if he's this motivated and wants this guy so bad,
You
like,
don't wanna see
wouldn't
the
he
work.
like, let me just be sure.
Me
here.
and Paul were positive that fucking Yoda
Yoda?
was
I
going to turn
know.
up and
I don't know how they would fork that in.
I wouldn't have liked it.
No, I was because I was thinking I was like I just don't.
Plus, it
think.
would have been CG Yoda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way they could afford fucking Frank Oz.
Hopping
I'm not
around,
even.
yeah.
I would like to know if that was Ian McDermott.
Yeah.
I need
Who?
to check that out. Ian McDermott in the last spoiler
Oh yeah,
alert.
yeah. And
they
McDermott or whatever.
I'm gonna
it
look that
was.
up.
It was for sure. You could tell by. I mean, I would bet money it was him.
Okay,
That
great.
You could tell they were doing the thing where they were trying to bridge the gap between how he looked at the end of episode 3 and how he looks.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
Empire.
I appreciate.
He wasn't like, I thought I was like, oh, he doesn't look. I was like, oh, that's right. From a timeline standpoint, he's only half gnarly at
Yeah.
this point, which was good.
Yeah.
I love Ian McDermott.
Yeah, he's badass.
It's but I loved it. I didn't love it, but yeah, you forgive those storylines, and I like how there was a couple lines where it's like, well, then my friend, like there was like he was kind of acting like Luke in a sense. It's like, well, my father is truly dead then. It's like, well, then my friend truly is gone.
Yeah.
And there was another line I'm trying to remember that he says.
Well, my
that was-
favorite line from their whole exchange, and maybe this is what you're thinking of, is, "I am not your failure.
Oh, yeah.
I killed Anakin."
That
'cause
was
he
a
says-
good line.
That was-
because
that's good.
In The New Hope, he says Darth Vader killed and murdered your father.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like how he calls him Darth. He doesn't call him Anakin anymore. And like
Yeah.
I said, I knew that was like
It was Ian. You knew it, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah, yeah.
double confirmed on the
Yeah.
on the Vulture's
That was pretty
system.
cool.
Yeah. Database.
But like in Return of the Jedi, where Vader says, Obi-Wan once thought the way you did, And that, so like they did a good job of that in the Master and Apprentice. I think like
am
if it was
not
their only
pissed.
It's straight up
saber
that
battle.
scene where his like mask is half
Oh,
off was
dude.
fucking great.
I actually
I
felt
loved it. I
Same.
love that.
I actually
moment.
really felt, and I don't really like the prequels.
I was just about to say that.
And then
I loved
that's
it.
how good they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one missed opportunity, which I'm one of those people that loves that Star Wars rhymes.
Yeah.
When Vader was so hell bent to find Obi-Wan, and the Emperor was like, "Listen, dude, you need to slow your roll." I think it would have been cool if the Emperor was like, "In time, he will come. He will seek you
Yeah.
out."
Yeah.
because
You're
that's
right.
what he said to
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
to
will,
Vader about Luke. He's like,
right.
he will come to
me.
you,
Yeah.
and then you will bring him to me.
I always loved how
Yeah.
fucking like how
Totally.
smart and how all knowing and like how
Foreseen,
he
yeah.
the Emperor did weave this whole kick
Yeah,
ass
you're right.
web.
That would have
Yeah.
been a nice little bridge.
That would have been sweet.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then it would have made sense why a little bit made more sense, like it would have smoothed a few things out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't speak today. I had a lot of cough.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
Oh shit! It's Paul's birthday,
Oh,
y'all.
happy birthday,
It
Paul.
is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today?
Today. Big day.
Are
Happy
you
birthday,
sure?
buddy.
And
Turning 20 years
CG
old
got him a
still?
really cool card. Oh, well,
Nice.
sorry. Okay, I'm
Oh,
done.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Insert
Insert,
thing. Yeah.
Beep boop bop bop. But yeah, I feel like if I were to watch this, I would watch episode 1, 2, skip to 4, and then 6. Skipping
'cause
episode
four's the
3.
one.
Is that
What the frack is
Inquisitorious?
3. 4 is when they're
Yeah.
Inquisitorious.
Plot holes, but still kind of fun.
Still fun.
Well, it's because they're just running around. You see, it's like
Yeah.
escaping
Yeah.
stormtroopers.
It's not the best
in all the
episode,
ridiculous way, but it's the same brand of ridiculous
Yeah.
that we've
I
accepted
could
before.
buy
Yeah.
episode 5 is
The stormtroopers.
Ridiculousness is on brand.
The stormtroopers were just as useless in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So you can't really. That can't be your big
No.
beef with that episode.
episode 5 for me was just a waste
I
of time.
think in general, old hats like us are down with ridiculousness if it feels like
Yeah.
Star Wars.
If it it has to feel like it, and because I was wondering what happened, like episode 3 does not look like Star Wars at all. Episode 5 doesn't look like or feel like Star Wars at all. But like, I don't know if it's just budgets. Like, all right, so first 2 episodes we're gonna make them like kind of they really feel like Star Wars. You're on Tatooine, and then you're on Dayu.
Yeah.
Like,
I watched the first 2 episodes of Mandalorian yesterday or 2 days ago, and if it doesn't feel low budget at all, and it does feel tactile.
yeah.
They were treading water from a script writing standpoint for
Yeah.
3 episodes.
And maybe he had to pay Ewan McGregor like half the budget too. Who
Just
knows?
Like, think about it now in hindsight. What really happened between the 3rd and 6th episode, like leading up to the 6th episode?
Same
a
thing.
goddamn
Same thing
thing.
happened twice.
Correct. That's what I mean.
Yeah, or 3 times in
That's right.
total. Like it's the same thing that happened twice. Just watching ships fly away.
It's like someone has to escape. You know, Leia gets captured. She has to
Yeah.
get rescued. It's like, it's just a little bit lazy on the writing. So,
Yeah.
you know,
it could have been. They should have made it like a 4.
It could have been
series.
absolutely.
It could have been. That's
it
where
could have
I-
been a
yeah, confounding is
masterpiece.
the word.
like,
because-
straight up, like in this moment, I'm stoked that at least the end
Yeah.
felt
I'm so-
mostly
I thought,
good.
yeah, I thought for sure it was.
It's a good landing.
Yeah,
It was a
It's
good
a
landing.
relatively good landing.
At least of all the things
It's a
that were
9 out of 10.
Yeah, of everything that was a
Maybe
total
an 8.5.
shit show, at least the big moment that everyone knew was going to happen in this series, at
Yeah.
least
They
that
did that
moment,
well.
they really got right.
Yeah, the bookends are great.
Yeah, the bookends are great.
right.
The fucking the middle chapters are a little.
It
whatever.
sort of makes it. I don't know. We were texting with Kayla about this too. I don't know if it means that it was all worth it. Maybe barely, but getting at least that episode feeling the way it did, and the first one being what it is, like you said,
Yeah.
the bookends, almost means that in the grand scheme of things, when we're looking back on Star Wars
Yeah.
for 10 years from now, I'll be glad that they made the series to at least have had those moments.
Yeah, I mean, there are the Ewoks still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It's just clear, and I don't know that this is like a huge complaint. It's more of like a slow acknowledgement for myself as a Star Wars fan that this is the future of Star Wars, right? We're all going to
Yeah.
be self-curating
Yeah.
what we consider our Star Wars experience. And not every series or every episode of every series
Yeah.
is going to be for all fans. And maybe in the long run, we're going to be glad about that, because then there can be space for the prequel lovers who are somehow delusional and thinking every episode of this was good. Yes, I'm going to be a dick about it.
yeah.
But my point is that you can kind of pick and choose, and that's not a shitty thing.
Well,
I want to
like
do a prequel episode.
Oh yeah,
it's coming.
I love that because you're right. I think I can watch 4 episodes of this and be happy. Do you think they're leaving it for another season?
I feel like it didn't, and I hope they don't.
It didn't feel like it.
I hope they don't either.
The Qui-Gon
but,
moment was good, by the way. That
Yeah,
was
I
the
thought
way
it was
to
a
do
good
that.
moment.
We all
You-
knew that was coming.
No.
Paul
yeah.
said, I could see how season 2 could be more about Luke, but who the fuck's going to come after him?
Not anymore. I thought that before watching this one. Now that they've kind of done the whole last episode, it would seem really forced.
Make no mistake, they need to shut this fucking thing
Correct.
down.
I did like that it didn't feel like they were trying to
Yeah,
continue
they
the
didn't
story.
leave any sort of like.
I
wait
thought
till
for
the next
sure
season
they were
moments.
gonna have some kind of. I mean, I don't know. We didn't watch through past the credits. Sometimes they throw in.
Oh shit!
That's
I'm gonna
true.
double confirm that.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe-
know
maybe do a-
because they did that in Mando.
Do
See,
a Google search.
They
on-
did a.
If you just Google post credits Obi-Wan finale, I'm sure if there's.
I mean,
a thing,
I don't
it'll
know.
pop
There
up.
might
I'm
not
just
be.
gonna go to Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. But I mean, it'll be interesting. Are they gonna keep Reva around?
The Vulture has Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're setting up a future Reva series?
Well, I just don't know what her deal is going to be. Like, it is kind of weird that, like, hey, because, like I said, the only reason why she would go to Tatooine for Luke is that if she knows. So it's like this, person kind of knows about Luke and Leia, and not many people do. But
It
yeah,
does
no one
not
lets
look-
like. Why did Obi-Wan like? I know it's because it's like we know that Vader can't die, but it is like, why did he just leave him? Like, you'd think he'd want to finish the job.
Yeah,
But maybe,
that's
but it
true.
wasn't. But I didn't care because in that moment it was very emotional. And with the massing, maybe he just couldn't bring himself to it. But it was.
You're right. That's a big, giant question that for some reason in that moment I didn't question or process.
I didn't question it either. But now everyone's like, why wouldn't he? But it was it was very powerful emotionally. I thought.
I mean, maybe the argument, even subconsciously, for why we didn't object in the moment or think it was weird is that that's the difference between the two of them. Is even though he knows he's a villain, and they don't really imply that Obi-Wan has the same foresight abilities. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't know. I mean, in his mind, like, he has affection for these children. It's not just, do I want to kill my friend? Do I also want to kill their father? Well, but also he knows
also
like him being
says
alive
he-
is the single largest danger. to
Yeah,
those
he's
kids.
also
I
saying
don't
you
know.
need to go kill
Obi's
this
got
guy.
a heart, man.
It's a little bit tough.
It's kind of whack, man. The only time Vader actually ever did get the best of Obi-Wan let him
do it. That's true.
Yeah.
The Obi-Wan was the.
He's got your number, Anakin.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got your cell phone number, and he knows some secrets. He knows your ex-girlfriend.
Oh man. But yeah.
It doesn't appear to have
It
a
does
post-credit.
mean we
That's
never
good.
got.
That's
We
good.
never
I'm
got.
actually relieved.
By the way, we never got an explanation for why the Party City Fire Bar was too much. It's just that. In hindsight, now that the series is over, we can say definitively
I
they
think
were
it's-
that fucking lazy. In
I
the
think it's
writing.
bad filmmaking.
They were that lazy.
There
I
was
think
a
it was
lot of.
meant to be like Vader can't get to him.
Yeah.
It's insane.
There was too
Yeah.
many moments of that in this series.
Yeah.
I
Well-
enjoyed some stuff, but there was too many.
And for those
moments.
that are watching that might misunderstand, when we talk about, or let me speak for myself, when I talk about low budge, that's as much about the writing as it is the production. So I'm not necessarily saying every scene looked shitty visually.
Some
when I
of it
say
was
that.
gorgeous.
I'm
Yeah.
saying just from a storytelling, script writing standpoint, it's low budge. Like in that moment in
lazy.
the third episode, you couldn't spend 10 minutes to come up with a better explanation for how Obi-Wan can just walk away from that fight.
It could have been like a massive explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
mean, honestly, it literally, seriously, 10 minutes of thought.
It
can
wasn't
come up with
enough.
anything better than that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of holes like
I
that.
want to say that Star Destroyer looked fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Is that the first
Correct.
time we saw a Star Destroyer
I hope not. Probably.
in this series?
Some of those other ships I didn't really love.
It
No.
felt like the first time.
Well, yeah, and it's like because I didn't
they
like the other
maybe
ships.
they used like a model from Rogue One or something.
felt the Imperial
that was
ship.
already made.
Yeah,
Oh,
Vader's
yeah.
Imperial shuttle felt good to
yeah,
see, you know.
it was so funny because it was like
Yeah, I love that
You go
shuttle.
to New Hope where like that it's just taking a beating from the.
Yeah.
This one was trying to. I was like, oh, they're trying to evasive maneuver this thing.
Yeah,
Shuttle
right, exactly.
But,
Tidarian.
it's like, don't you think could you done this with the other ships?
Is that just called an Imperial shuttle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Shuttle Tidarian is like
The specific
The one
they
they stole?
jacked. Yeah.
yeah.
that's a cool. I like.
It's a good looking shuttle. Yeah, I mean, there's small hole, but like again, it's free. You can forgive them if
You
it's
already
good.
you just find yourself not caring about the
No.
bullshit moments when the good moments feel so great.
It was a good episode, and it's
I wish that they could somehow hear that from the people like us in the fan community. It's like we don't demand perfection.
No.
Just get the broad strokes
Yeah.
right, and we'll forgive a lot of the small quirks as long as you give us like dramatic music cues at the right moment
Yeah.
that feel like we just want the Star Wars moments that
Yeah.
make us feel like a kid again.
And I wouldn't
That's the
even be
goal.
looking like, oh, this felt small to me compared to Mandalorian if all the emotions and the story
Yeah.
beats felt right. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Totally.
This one felt like
I bet they did have to pay Ewan a lot, as he should get paid, and it might have, but it could have just been time. But also, you do own ILM. I don't know, man. I think about behind the scenes stuff a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious about how does Mandalorian feel so big and this one not?
I mean, from an acting standpoint, I think Ewan did as well as he could given what. Same deal with the prequels.
I'm always down with Ewan.
Given what he had to work with,
Yeah.
I think he did a pretty damn good job.
this could have been a great 3-4 episode series.
Yeah, or like a movie.
Yeah,
I
a
think
movie,
Curtis is right.
a movie would have been better. A movie would have been perfect.
I love the movie
like
format.
a 2.5 hour movie. It would have been perfect.
I love a series, dude, as long as they could keep up the song and dance.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that's funny about it is that they could still just be making movies. I guess there's no reason
They were
to
gonna
not
make
go
a movie.
theatrical. I know. I'm just saying, like they don't even have to do theatrical. Like they could just make a
Yeah.
movie that comes out on Disney Plus. But their argument is they get 6 weeks of all the hype
All the
and the
yeah,
subscribing
they want
and the
money.
whole
It is,
thing.
and you
It's
know,
not
and
really
then,
the
like-
business model.
Yeah.
Even though we just started in our but everyone with big audiences with podcasts, that's free. That's
Yeah.
6 weeks of people just fucking jabbing.
Which
Yeah.
selfishly, we all were and am stoked on that as long as they write
Yeah.
accordingly and they don't do. And it's not
Yeah,
just an
Andor
Obi-Wan
was cool.
problem. We've talked about this with non-Star Wars
Yeah.
series. A lot of these in this kind of new golden age of TV.
Yeah.
there are a lot of these series that like in the second half window they start to like kill time.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's
I know
tough.
You
we're
know,
going.
it's like don't bore us, get to the chorus.
Yeah, it is a
little
lot. It
bit.
is TV. It's like I'm having a hard time figuring out what Star Wars things are series and what are movies, and it seems like most of them are series.
Are there any movies other
Well,
than
take
Yeah.
which is like a big shining star in the
I
distance
can't
that,
wait.
that I feel
I'm telling you, there's nothing I'm more excited about in Star Wars than
that dude is
He's
a
gonna nail
legit
it.
fucking filmmaker.
He is in my opinion, the single best mainstream filmmaker on the planet.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. He could do an indie and kill it, and he could do a big tent and like make it feel great.
But also his sentiment, like the sentimentality in his movies means that you're not going to get a stiff, cold Star Wars story
Right.
from him. If anything, I would guess that the criticism might end up being that it's going to end up being too
bold?
sentimental, which is good for me because I'm a hopeless romantic nerd.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I'll be full sentiment all day long. For me is the deal.
Well, I know he wants to make it feel like a classic Star Wars, so I saw
Take
that
is a
too,
fucking
and he's
genius.
gonna
he
do it.
probably
He's great.
He's probably older like us.
He
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
He's exactly all right.
I mean, he saved the Thor franchise, like because
But
I
who
love.
the fuck can make a good Thor movie? Like,
Dude, well,
seriously.
the first one's really good with Kenneth Branagh, and it's so shit because
the one that he made, I love.
yeah, that's the first one. And
No,
it's so
there's a one before
Shakespearean.
that.
No, that's the first one. Kenneth Branagh did the first Thor movie.
Oh, I thought my bad. I got confused.
So there's that one, and he did it, and it's so because Kenneth Branagh, he's the Shakespeare guy.
Yeah.
it's so Shakespearean.
It's not a bad
funny.
movie.
I love it. It's probably one
Yeah.
of my because I love Thor.
Yeah.
But what
And
about the one that
The
Taika
second
made?
one, The Dark World, is not
that's
good.
the third one.
Oh fuck.
He
See,
made
I
the
don't know
third
where I'm
one,
at.
Ragnarok, and it's awesome. And then he's
Well,
doing Love and
Ragnarok
Thunder.
is like the reason people even think about.
Ragnarok is the one that he made.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the third.
I dig
there's-
that one.
Yeah.
And then the fourth
But I mean-
one's coming out.
And it's obviously him because the tone and spirit
Oh,
of
yeah.
it is just like he clearly reinvented the whole,
yeah.
feeling of those
Yeah,
movies.
he's a bad
And,
son
and
of a
Love and
bitch.
Thunder looks, anyway,
Dude.
point is, Take is great. So his
We're
Star Wars
excited
movie.
for his Star Wars. I'm excited for his movie, and I'm glad it's a movie.
It's kind of hard to picture him screwing up.
Yeah, I'm kind of sick of
He
series.
won't fuck it up.
Like I'm not sick
And he's
of
also
series,
not using
but-
legacy characters.
Well, that's the thing. No one is going to be better at writing new characters than him in this world. That's what they should be doing all the time. We should just stop
y'all
it with
should-
the
yeah,
characters.
it's a fucking minefield.
It's
Yeah.
part of why Mandalorian feels great because
Yeah.
it's new characters in the world that feels good.
Yeah, and
feels
then
good.
Luke comes in, like
Yeah.
he just
You
kind
can
of
sprinkle
saves
him.
the day. Like Luke saving the day, like that's not very.
They're
difficult.
setting themselves up for people like us to bitch by continuing to revisit these legacy characters
Yeah.
because we have so much like selfish built-in like expectation.
But for
on this
them, it's
shit.
better to just
Sprinkle.
Yeah.
rock on. Like
Keep it
we
rocking,
do
keep it
love
going.
Ray, we do love Poe, we do love.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's cool when the legacy characters show up in these other series because that one is
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
that's fucking
It's
like Obi-Wan and Rebels shows up just like one
a
episode.
tiny
Just like,
moment
yeah.
here.
Who
Yeah.
else,
Think about
shout out to the stormtrooper that turned to the Resistance.
yeah, Finn.
Yeah,
Finn. We'd love Finn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting that they
Finn
still
got
have
bit.
never
Finn got
addressed,
punked.
with all the series and everything else that we know about. I don't know if it's intentional or they're saving it, but they created a new trilogy with 3 new characters
Yeah.
that people really like. It
Everyone
seems
seen
weird
it?
to not be even mentioning the potential to revisit those characters.
Yeah,
they-
I'd like
they
to know
seem to be
where Daisy
avoiding 'em.
Ridley is.
Yeah, or maybe they're just like so focused on the now and the past that they just
Yeah,
haven't
well, it
gotten
is.
there
It is
yet.
pretty far after.
I mean, I
this.
guess, do we know? So this John Watts series and/or movie, it's a series.
Andor's a series. Yeah.
That no, I'm sorry. Actually, I meant and/or as in like and/or. But
Oh.
that's hilarious that it is also.
Yeah.
But the John Watts thing with Jude Law, which is the coming of age thing. John Watts is the guy that did the Spider-Man movies.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that
Is that a series or movies?
is it animated?
No.
no, it's
They
not.
made a
Skeleton Crew?
They made a point of saying recently that it's not going to be made for children, but it'll be. It's a coming. I think it's going to be about a group of like teenagers. My guess of what they describe is it's
Like
like,
the Goonies.
Stranger Things meets Star Wars.
Cool.
Or for anybody that's super old,
Yeah.
the Goonies.
And we
Yeah.
know Jude Law will be in it. So Jude
right.
Law has been cast.
He's pretty cool.
But it's mostly going to be a coming of age story, and it's the guy who did the Tom Holland Spider-Man, which
Nice. Is this the one? Where is it? Is this the one that takes long before
We don't know.
everything?
That's
I know
what I'm
there's one
saying.
they're supposed to do.
no, that's something of the High Republic.
People
Oh,
love
got
that
it.
shit. I don't know anything about it, but I'm down to watch some stuff.
Dude,
I think I'm gonna be more excited about anything that doesn't touch what
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of have fucked up a lot.
I
of
would
the
love to see
legacy
Darth
stuff.
Plagueis. Think they're that badass.
You know, everyone bitches about this, and like they did miss the opportunity to get the big 3 on screen again. I know it was because of a real life tragedy.
Yeah.
but still bums me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no, right? It's like if they didn't kill off Han, then they could have done that, right?
Oh,
Ford-
you're right.
Ford's
Fuck.
thing, yeah.
So yeah, maybe that was never gonna happen.
Like they could have all been in the Last Jedi together.
yeah.
Yeah,
They
that was
could
my
have
big
been
grief with that is that
in,
they never ever all got
they
together.
could have
again.
figured it out, I guess, in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
I get that. I can totally.
But I do love the ending where Luke.
Correct.
I do love that.
I can understand why people would want that. I'm sure I wouldn't have been bummed if they all got in the same room. But I find there to be a little bit of a darker emotional weight to the fact that by the time we get to see Luke talk, he's like missed the boat and Han's already gone.
Yeah, no, that's
I
dope.
find
That's
that to be
dope.
sort of powerful.
That was a great
you know.
springboard to fuck it up.
Speaking of sequel trilogy, and to pull it back to Obi-Wan, we all couldn't help but laugh for a moment when Obi-Wan shows up at the end to see Leia, and she runs straight to the droid
Oh, yeah.
past
Yeah.
him, which is just like when fucking
went,
Leia
to,
runs past
Rey
Chewie
instead of
after
Chewie.
Han's dead. It's
Yeah,
like, how
fuck.
come all these motherfuckers never
It's
go
a-
to the person who...
Leia especially just
It's a
doesn't
poem,
give a
it's a
shit
theme.
about
Well, they circle back, thankfully, and then you
Yeah.
get your moment,
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
fine.
That was a
But
good moment, I think.
we
Fuck, I
did
don't know.
laugh in real time until they came back to the moment there.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
I think they put a lot of like the Luke thing was interesting, like, but I don't. I think it was unnecessary to break. Maybe they just need to kill time, but like the jump back between Luke and Vader and Obi-Wan fighting.
Owen
Just-
yeah. Owen and Beru are pretty forgiving when she rolls up and drops the kid, and they just like, all right, well, we'll let her be, even though she did just come up in our
Yeah.
house
Oh,
and
yeah.
shoot up the place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
think
there's
they'd
a
be
lot
like,
of-
this fucking bitch, I don't care
There's
how.
a lot of
There's
Sorry.
a lot of that in this series.
a lot of that in the series, and this episode had a couple more. I was like, I think that the story writing was lazy. I think
Yeah.
it was
Something.
There was some laziness there. And it was-
Rushed.
It's like fun little gripes for me. Like that's not a real frustration because again, if I'm honest,
Yeah.
But it compiles.
that level it does compile, but that level of nitpicky, like how did Owen and Beru forgive her that fast?
Right.
That idea it is represented in the OG trilogy.
Yeah, probably.
I got it.
She can-
Spin-off series of Owen and Peru
Oh yeah, that's happening.
dealing with everything.
Dealing with raising.
It's kind of going to be like Full House.
Yeah.
But with Luke,
It's fun.
fucking Owen, and homegirl that got out of that sex cult.
John
Yeah.
Stamos.
And
to
I'm
be
glad you
cast.
got out of that sex cult
Quit
because I
monkeying
saw
around
that
with that damn
HBO
land
documentary and shit looked hairy.
Yeah.
So
Welcome
the
back.
actress was in it.
The actress, she got out, and
got
that's
out.
cool,
Good
and
for you.
I commend her for it.
Good for
Damn.
you. Good for you.
Also, Beru goes from being this cute lady in this to looking like
My aunt.
fucking ET by the time we see her in A New Hope.
it's
Sorry.
what 9 years?
It's got a lot
a
of
rough
his
9
father
years.
I was
in it.
gonna say she's. You're right.
That was a
we
rough 9 years for
We
all of
should
them.
watch that series, but clearly shit went down
Yeah.
because they have aged fucking
Oh
hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Luke is
In
not
9
easy to
years.
raise.
Trying to get any moisture out of that shithole planet's
That's
difficult.
true.
Someone send Baru some fucking Neutrogena because
Yeah.
this shit's about to get gnarly.
Moisture farmer. Why don't you just get
Yeah,
ships and go get water out at Mon Calamari?
It ain't got no lotion up at
No.
fucking Tashi Station.
Yeah.
It's hard.
You need some
Everyone's
lotion. Your skin
dehydrated
is
as fuck.
itchy.
Look at Obi-Wan. He did really hit him hard.
Skin is itchy.
Turned
Does-
into a whole
Is Mon Calamari's only economy just shipping water to places?
Pretty
and
much.
spice, running spice.
Spice.
I'm stoked, y'all.
Honestly,
I
for all the bitching the whole series,
I mean, I'm not super stoked.
I'm pleasantly
yeah.
surprised. It wasn't a perfect thing. I'm not sitting here like fuck yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. But
It's
the
good
fact,
to not be pissed.
Yes.
Yes.
I'd rather
You're right.
Well, like you said, it was impossible for them to do anything that would salvage what
Yeah.
they did in 2 episodes.
Yeah, but they almost did.
But this was a great episode.
The Vader Obi-Wan thing was good, and that's really the thing.
They
That
should've
clearly
kept it
was
to
the
that.
most
Think
important
about
of the whole
how
series. They nailed that part. I'm
Powerful
not
that
gonna
would have
lie.
been if that was the first time.
Dude,
they
I hope
met.
someone gets all these and edits it into an hour and a half movie.
If someone needs to
How
do it.
badass would that be?
It would be
Only
really
we knew
good.
somebody with editing skills and access to the episodes. Yeah, just kidding. And all your free
Join
time.
our XYZ.
Yeah.
I'll do it if we raise $200.
Yeah.
It's a good point though, Curtis. I bet somebody will like construct like a 2 to 3 hour cut of
Yeah, it
all
could be like a
this.
Lord of the Rings extended version. Make it 3 hours. Yeah, 3,
And
4 hours.
honestly, maybe I'll just do it. If you do it in a way where you just assume that you've seen the other parts and you're not trying to actually make it work
Yeah.
as if you didn't
Yeah.
ever see it, and you just assume you're filling in the blanks.
I think there's a way to
It'd be
do it
fun
though.
to watch.
I think there's a way to do it even if you didn't know about
It'd
it.
be a fascinating, what
That's
do you call
actually a
it?
funny.
Exercise
Yeah,
in the Force.
yeah. The Vader Obi-Wan thing felt good. I was
It felt
super
That's
that was
awesome.
really satisfying. And your observations on point, Curtis, in that for someone, I will admit that I am deep in the prequel hater club.
You
I
hate the
fu-
prequels
I
more
fucking
than
hate 'em.
anyone that
So the
I
fact
might
that
know.
that scene could have emotional resonance for me, having hated the prequels, is a testament to how well they did with that scene.
Yes, it was good.
I don't
and
like
the
the
fight was
prequels.
cool. Like the fight looked cool, and then like the emotion was there. Like I think you're right. I was just like, it's kind of like how I felt about the sequel trilogy. It's like, man, you guys could have just knocked this out of the park.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't feel any of that during the battle on the lava planet during Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Mustafar, like that.
Yeah.
They got that right.
Yeah, they
With the
nailed
weight
it.
between
It
them.
was great.
That's what I've always said. Like that should have been the most emotional moment in any Star Wars story ever in Episode 3, and it was done so poorly that it was like watching a B-level cartoon.
Vader is truly a badass, but he's also like depressed.
Yeah, yeah. I thought they really did that shit well, and the fact
Yeah.
that they did means that
Yeah.
looking back on it, and we're considering doing like a reflection episode maybe in a couple weeks and get some guests in,
Yeah.
so it's not just our three dumbasses talking
Yeah.
about it. Get some buddies in here
Some
to talk
fresh
as well.
perspective.
Maybe a droid.
Josh Kaler,
Yeah.
we're coming for you.
Coming for
Um,
you, JK.
you know,
Rawlings.
I will be able to go back and revisit, like you said. For me, I might do the 4th episode, but I could probably get in and get out with the top and tail.
One
The
Yeah.
through
first-
6.
Just 1 and 6 might
Yeah.
be for me.
I think the second episode is. I actually
That's
like,
the one where they're running around the
Daiyu?
Blade
Yeah.
Runner planet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually, to be
Tight.
honest, I actually think that's better than the first episode.
No fucking
Yeah.
way.
I just
Really?
because of the
You are
moment
on
where
fucking
she
weed.
finds out where he finds out about Anakin is such a powerful moment, and I think that cut to shot to him in the
Man,
tank.
that's great.
I might just have fun and just because now I want to edit together.
I'm
all
telling
the
you,
good
there's a way to
moments.
do it where it could be really cool because that's where I was like, come on, man. There's two.
we wouldn't be able to
terrible episodes.
upload that to Insta.
No.
Would they?
I mean,
would we be able to
technically
upload
could,
it and
then
it
they
get
come
flagged?
for us.
Yeah, they'd come.
Yeah.
Or they
for
just don't let you upload it?
I don't know. I mean, if they would flag it because there'd just be nothing but scenes playing out.
Yeah.
I mean, we could put it on a Dropbox just for fun.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Come over
But
and watch
anyway,
it.
I am not bummed. So, and that's a good thing for
That's
a
a bummed.
fucking old dude.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, anyone who's watching has been listening to us bitch for the last 4
Yeah.
episodes. So the fact that it's equal parts bitching,
Well, dude, we
and-
started off fucking
Yeah. What a
stoked.
roller coaster. I was thinking about that. I was like, man, we were pumped the first first two, and then there was some shit. There was some bad. I'm glad it wasn't a 9 episode series. That would have been awful.
I feel like mildly vindicated by how good the scenes were when they played the music. I want to be like,
Yeah.
I told
Oh,
y'all,
no.
when there's fucking music,
Yeah, it felt
shit gets
great.
immediately elevated.
It would've been better.
We could. Yeah.
Can't overplay those songs. Can't overplay
We could
them.
literally have another podcast about some of the things that I think they could have done with music, but you're right, Paul. It felt it felt very fucking good.
Yeah. It made it like we were all sitting in the bed together.
I'm gonna go
like
watch
we like
that.
to do.
I'm
when we
gonna go watch Vader
And we're-
and the
yeah.
Emperor later today.
Yeah, right. 100%.
I'm like, I'm
'Cause that
actually
felt-
pumped to watch. Like,
Yeah.
I started to rewatch the series, and I was pumped to watch the first 2 episodes, and I kind of trailed off halfway.
Because you know
through
what's
the third.
coming, man.
But you know what's but and then this one, I'm actually really, really excited to go back.
Yeah.
There are holes, yeah, but it was like you said, it doesn't matter. But when it's stupid, like the 3rd episode, like the stupid Party City Fire, when it's dumb, when the episode itself is dumb, then the really dumb things are amplified.
They should have never fought. The scene where he's
No.
going down the street killing people was
Yeah.
badass. That scene should have remained
Right,
to
but-
try to lure him out, but it
Right.
should have not worked.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan sneaks away, and it's like give him it's like they're getting this close, and then right when they're about to meet, Obi-Wan gets away, which is sort of like, they're like tickling your balls for 3 or 4 episodes. By the time you get to
They
the
should have
6th
met
episode,
one time, and
Yeah.
that would have been
And that
this
was it.
episode. And then
Fight the
Obi-Wan
Inquisitors.
should have been cutting his teeth with those Inquisitors.
He never fought. Those Inquisitors
yeah,
didn't
Sega
fight
Genesis and the
anybody.
Yeah.
They never
They
literally
didn't
nothing.
fight anybody. I don't even think Sega
Yeah, what the
Genesis
fuck is
even,
Sega Genesis
He didn't
at all
even.
of a sudden?
I don't think he strikes his lightsaber once.
Not once.
Not once.
What a waste
And
of
in
a
Rebels,
fucking good console.
they use those things as like helicopters.
It's really
like,
a good
like,
point. Like the Inquisitors were
They didn't fight anybody.
They were like complete background afterthoughts.
They didn't fight. The Inquisitors didn't have a single
Yeah.
fight.
well,
with,
they
like,
created
lightsaber
them in
violence.
this damn
And the Grand
cartoon, and now
Inquisitor-
we got to use them.
Yeah. Grand Inquisitor magically shows up again just in time to apparently somehow get away with questioning Vader, which I thought was interesting. And this
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
basically like
Like, you better watch your fucking mouth.
yeah.
he basically
buddy.
just turns to Vader is like, dumb idea.
Yeah.
You know, I thought Vader was gonna do that. Force push his ass out of
Yeah,
the way,
yeah.
Yeah.
who's his name? Oh fuck, in The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I know what you're talking about.
What do y'all think, man? Do you
I
do
don't
you have
know.
any fucking? Y'all want to get out of here? Or do we
Yeah,
keep
I'm
rolling?
good.
Yeah, I feel yeah.
I don't want to force us to
No,
get
no.
out
I
of
think
here.
that.
It was mostly good, and
was
I'm
mostly
pleased with
good.
that.
Yeah, it's good
3
not
out of
to be
6
bummed.
are great. 3.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Happy
If
birthday.
If you want us to
Paul.
drop you off anywhere,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not much of a drinker, but if there's a time to go to a cantina and get shit faced and be
Yeah.
on your 40th birthday, so
Hey.
maybe
yeah, I don't
we
drink
go,
either, but I'll drink with you.
Maybe we go to Mos Eisley and get fucking weird.
Most Eisley it is.
All right, let's punch it, Curtis. Tight 40 minutes. I love it.